Hey, welcome back, Rippers. All right, today what we're going to go over is some simple modifications that you can make to a Sig P320, right? Or really any handgun you have that will help you in handling and operation of that firearm. Now, these aren't big modifications that are going to take a gunsmith or that will, really affect the safety of the item. That's not the idea. The idea is to improve the function and as well as usability of the firearm. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to check and make sure that this firearm is safe. As you can see, we'll lock it back. We're empty. No magazine, right? So that's the first thing we always do. Now, these parts came from Armory Craft. There you go, Armory Craft, right? And if you want to go check them out, there's some info on them as well, right? Now, I'm not sponsored by Armory Craft or anything like that. Boy, that'd be nice if they would, look to me to do some reviews and stuff for them, because I do think their products are really good. I think they make some great products, especially for the Sig. They really specialize in that, as well as other firearms too. So go check them out if you have a chance. Now, first thing we're going to start with is, the Sig P320 comes with a stock 17 round magazine, which that's plenty of ammo, right? But sometimes you like to have a little bit more, and this is an inexpensive way compared to buying new magazines to do it. Now, one way you can do it, which I would always advise that you have at least probably 4 to 5 magazines for your firearm. And, it might not hurt to have some springs and followers set aside too, just in case you can't get them down the road later, so that if the springs and followers wear out, well, you can replace them. But it doesn't hurt to have at least, I got 4 magazines for this one. I say 4 to 5. And one way to do it is you can just buy 21 round magazines that already are cut to length for 21, have this little grip filler in there, and they work really well. They go in there, they stick out a little bit. We'll show you when the gun's not locked back, because it has a little thing in there that won't let this go all the way in. Now, these are, of course, they're like $50, right? So it's a little bit more expensive than getting a extended base plate. These are more like, you can find them anywhere from $20 to $29 for these. These are Armory Crafts extended. They're an aluminum or metal. I think you can have your choice. Base plate that's all machined. They're really nice. I really like it. So let's get to sticking this in there. Now, what you do, it's really easy. You got this button on the bottom of your Sig one. You push that button in with the front of the magazine pointing that way, and you just push that in, right? And with your thumb, push this forward while holding the spring in. See how I got the spring trapped right there? And then slowly release. Now, you'll see that you have this initial plate here that was the plug that held this all together, kept the plate from coming off. Well, you don't need that anymore. So take those 2 pieces and set them aside. Now what you do is you take and hold this spring down, and this is the tricky part where you need like 4 hands. But you hold this spring down, put this and slide it right on where the base plate came off from. And you'll hear it spring back in there, right? Now it's in there, and see the spring's in there, so that'll kind of hold it. Now to keep it from moving on you, they got a little set screw right there. You can see it right there, a little set screw, right? So that being said, you can see it. You just take that little set screw and back it out. Slow until it gets firm against the magazine, and that's what holds it into place. So we're going to back this out, and as you're backing it out, it's coming up, so you're doing it the opposite of screwing it in, right? And you'll feel it start to get tight, and that's where it's basically biting into the little corner of the mag right there, and that's what holds this on. Now, if those start moving on you, which it shouldn't, but if those start moving on you, you can take them all the way out and redo the process by putting a little Loctite in there, and that will do it. So right there. Now, what we have is these are called +2s, but when I loaded it up, it got me 20 rounds in there. So it was actually +3, and I think it says +2 or 3 depending. But I always like to not overload my mags, so I would probably have 19 rounds in this, and then, or 20 if it fits comfortably. So that's it. That's one one thing to do that definitely will help improve your firearm, right? Because now you can take your stock magazines, and for less than new 21 rounders, you can go ahead and make yours a 20 rounder, right? So, and you already got these with the firearm anyway, right? You got 2 mags. Might as well upgrade them. So that being said, that's one upgrade. So now the next one is a real easy one, and it is a flared magazine. Flared Magwell, excuse me. So it's just a little piece that goes on just like that. They send it to you. It has one screw that keeps it locked in. And as you can see, your magazine well is a little bit flared here because when you're feeding your magazine in, that kind of helps you get it in there where you need it to be. But this kind of helps you in case you're a little bit off. It bounces you into there. And it really doesn't add a whole lot of profile to the handgun. Now you can get really big ones that are super wide, mega Magwells for people who have, hard seeing or hearing or whatever to get it in the hole, right? Yeah, put your jokes down in the comment section. I hear you. But this is just your kind of a stand. It's a little bit extended, but not a whole lot, so that it doesn't just add a whole bunch of weight. It also helps you grip because it kind of locks your hand in there, right? And your pinky kind of rests up against this because this is the carry model. This is the P320 carry, right? So you just put that in there. You'll see that it has the front pin hole that goes into there, and then the back pin goes in there, and that's where the screw hole is. So you kind of just push on it, put the screw in there, right? Take your Allen and just kind of spin her until you feel it start threading. Now don't ever strip a thread. If you don't feel it going, then don't screw it in there, right? If it doesn't feel like it's going easy, there we go, nice and easy. And you just give it a little finger tight right there. Now you could put some Loctite in that if you wanted to, but it's actually kind of a good snug fit. And as you can see there, it not only looks pretty good on the firearm, it also gives you a place for your pinky to be on so it doesn't slip off in wet conditions, that kind of stuff. And empty magazine, as you can see, it makes it easier to get it in there, even if it's not the perfect location, right? That works pretty good. So that's another thing. And now you can do this not just to SIGs, you can do this to all. You can do this to Glock, and it's just as easy on Glock. 1911s usually take a little bit of machining, depending on, or a little filing, depending on the type you get. I like the Ed Brown type that have the back strap on it, so it takes a little shaping. But that's another modification you can do. Now the next one is going to be what some people refer to as a gas pedal. Some people just refer to it as an extended takedown lever. I use these a lot on competition. This is what I consider one that isn't a full-blown gas pedal where you can put pressure on it and hold the muzzle flip down on your firearm. This is more about having a place to put your thumb that won't impede the slide, as well as it gives you an index point so that you always know just by touch that your grip is exactly where it should be, right? So that being said, let's get this installed. As you can see, compared to the stock one, and we'll show you once we get it out, it's very similar, except they made this bigger so that it covers up this little ring right here, which aesthetically is really nice. It makes the pistol look a little cleaner. And as you can see, this one's nice and flat, right? You can see the profile there, whereas this one will stick out a little bit. And this really does, when you get to using and practicing with this, it really does make a big difference in your shooting. I was, of course, in IPSC in the early days, right at the beginning where they weren't sure if they were going to allow these or not. In fact, when I was at the Area 1 match, that's one of the things that came up because I actually made one of these, and I'll share that in the future when I show you those pistols that I used to use for competition. But I actually had a gunsmith make me an extended lever like this that was actually screwed into my frame so that I had a place to put my thumb. Now for me, it was mainly because my thumb was pressing against the slide, causing it to slow the slide down. But I found after having him make it that it actually gave me a little bit more control of the flip of the gun from muzzle rise, right? And I actually, a couple people said something about it, and they had to come and look at it, and they had the range officers there, or the ROs, and they made the determination on that match that, you know, we don't see that he's getting an advantage of it. That was their idea, and they let it be. Now on open class guns, you can have that, no worries, and you can do just about anything you want. But mine was on a limited class gun. Now they've adopted and accepted these on all classes. So, and you'll see big ones that have like a big ledge there that you can put your thumb on. So anyway, we want to keep this gun more carry compatible and magazine or holster compatible. So we're going to go ahead and use what's called the sport takedown lever, right, from Armory Craft. So we'll do that. So basically, you take your takedown lever, push it down like you're going to take the gun apart. That's how easy these SIGs are. You just slide off the slide. And then what you do is you just take and return this back to its normal position, push from the other side. Now, sometimes you can take a little Allen wrench and push if you need to, but you just push from the other side and pull this out nice and slow. Now, you'll see here, right there, that there's an O-ring right here, right? And that O-ring is what kind of helps keep it nice and tight in there, and from rattling around also helps with retention, as well as there's a groove on this side that there's a metal piece that when you put the gun back together and lock it all down, there's a groove that it fits into this thing that keeps it from walking out. But this O-ring is there also to keep it nice and snug. So you'll see that the new Armory Craft one comes with a new O-ring, but they recommend you getting a secondary O-ring. And pieces like this, especially O-rings, is probably a good idea for you to have some extras of, just in case we get to a point where you can't just order things anymore, and you'll already have it. And for something that's only $1 or $2, that's a good thing to have. So you can probably go to the hardware store and find the right size O-ring or one that'll work too, but this for sure gets you the one that you need. So you have that, keep it as your extras. Now, that's, as you can see, the difference between the stock one and the Armory Craft Sport takedown lever that has a little bit of purchase room on it right there. And it's got a little ledge so you can feel it kind of grab right there. See how it grabs and pops off, right? So that's what we're going to do. So what you do is you just have it in the takedown alignment like this, not like this, like this, and just push it through nice and careful. Don't rush it, like that. And now you can rotate it down and you're done. And then return it, lock it back, return your slide lever, and let your firearm return. Now you're all good to go, right? Now you can see when you grip, not only do you have an index point here that you can feel that helps you control the grip a little bit better, helps you feed your magwells or your magazines into the magwell, but you also, when you have this hand on here, have an area that you can use your thumb, right, for indexing so that you know your grip's always right. Because sometimes when you get in a hurry and you're engaging different targets, or you're having to pick up things and run and then grip back on your gun, in the heat like that, or switching from, say, your primary to your secondary, right? You can get your thumb, might be a little low, might be a little high, you know, in panic situations that happens. This gives you a tactile feel that you can just be like, I know my grip is exactly where it needs to be. And it also can give you a little bit of, you can get some grip on there to keep the flip down. And people that use it a lot actually find that, and you can find lots of videos on the internet where it'll tell you, yeah, this made a huge difference. And they got an even bigger one called the gas pedal by Go something. Go Guns, that's it. Go Guns gas pedal, right? It's even bigger and sticks out even further, or you can have even a custom one made. But what I'd say is that this is kind of the nice, you get concealability, you get holster usability, and you get your indexing location as well as a little bit of a grip on there. I think it's the best of all the worlds, to be honest with you. So this is the one that I would go with. I hope you guys agree with some of these things. I hope you find that that's how easy it is to do. stay tuned, because in the future we're going to do the next one where we replace this little spring in this guy, and this is the return spring that makes these SIGs have a little bit sluggish. If you fire on the return, it's a little sluggish, right? So this spring helps clean that up. It gets it so it's more of a positive response, and then so that way you can shoot faster, because if the gun's sluggish on reset, it's not ready to fire to when you go. So this spring will do that. We'll do that in the next video. And then another future video, we're waiting for an adjustable trigger to come in that allows you to adjust the take up. See that space right there, that room? It allows you, it'll bring the trigger back to where it's basically ready to go, or just a tiny bit of take up like this instead of like this. And then after you fire, it has an over travel. So basically, see how it just clicked right there? Oh, let's do that again from this side. So you'll see there's the reset, but you see all that room right there? It takes all that out. So that basically it resets and is ready to go. That will help speed you up as well. So I hope this helps you guys think about doing things, feel comfortable with doing it, and improve your weapon. Make it something that is unique to you, and get out there and practice more and more. Till next time, stay safe, stay secure, always be aware of your surroundings. If you have it, wear it. And if you wear it, get out there and practice with it, right? Improve it, use it, have some fun, and be getting ready and prepared for anything that may come our way. Till next time, adios.